channel, Side Hustle Seattle. So today I wanted to talk about being a dual commissioned notary public. So that way, if you're also looking to do it, you have an understanding of kind of what goes into it, some things to avoid, and just some of the pain points that I've experienced in my 5 or so months being dual commissioned. So if you didn't know, I am a commissioned notary public in the state of Washington, and I'm also a commissioned notary public in the state of Colorado. So all having a dual commission means is having more than one active commission at a given time. Now, in some states, not all of them, they allow you to be a notary public as long as you live or work there, right? There's other, requirements, but as long as you are a legal resident or you have a place of business there, you're allowed to be a notary public. And in some states, you're allowed to have more than one active commission as long as those requirements are still met. So Washington was the first state I got commissioned in, right? Hence the Side Hustle Seattle. But I was commissioned in Washington, and if you don't know or you don't care, I temporarily moved to the state of Colorado for work. And so when I got to Colorado, I called Washington or the Secretary of State and I was like, hey, I'm in Colorado. Am I able to get a commission here? And they're like, yes, as long as you have a place or you still work in Washington in some sort of way. And so for me, it worked out. Because this was a temporary move, I still have a place of residence in Washington. And of course, because I'm here, I also have a place of residence in Colorado. And I work in Colorado, but I bounce back and forth between the two states quite a bit. So it was no problem for the state of Washington for me to have more than one active commission. Now, when I read the regulation for the state of Colorado, it said something similar, but I'm one of those people, especially when it comes to notary stuff, even if it seems straightforward, I'm still gonna call just to double check because I don't want to get in any sort of trouble. And so I called Colorado Secretary of State, pretty much asked the same question, like, hey, I'm already commissioned in Washington. I want to get commissioned in Colorado. Is there any issue? And they gave me the same, you have to be a resident or have to have a place of business spiel, but otherwise we don't care if you have more than one. So perfect. I ended up getting commissioned in the state of Colorado shortly after I moved here. And so now I hold a commission, an active commission in both of those places. Now keep in mind, if you leave a place for good, you do have to surrender your commission, right? And I'm sure every state says it a little bit differently, but I know in the states that I'm in, that's for sure how it goes. So if I was like, you know what, I love Colorado so much and I'm never going back to Washington, I'm gonna get rid of my place, get rid of anything else I have going on there, then I need to give up my Washington notary commission. It doesn't matter that it hasn't expired yet. If I am not a resident, if I don't have a place of business there, I need to give up my commission there, period, right? And so in this case, I don't have to because I still fulfill those requirements. But when I move from Colorado, because this is temporary, I will have to give up this notary commission. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you're somebody who's been commissioned in a state, moved to another state and commission, it doesn't matter if your previous commission didn't expire, if you don't live there anymore, you don't work there, you do need to give up that commission. Now, being dual commission is like holding literally any other notary public commission, right? You only use it when you're sitting physically present in the state that you're commissioned in, right? So when I am in Colorado, I am only using my Colorado Notary Public Commission to notarize documents, right? When I'm in Washington, I'm only using my Washington Notary Public Commission to notarize documents. This should go without saying, but as a remote online notary, I think people can sometimes get confused because you're able to notarize documents for people in any state. They also assume that you can be in any state. You can't, right? Even if you're a remote online notary, you still have to be physically sitting in the state that you're commissioned in when you are using that commission. So I can't mix and match them. I can't use the Washington one when I'm in Colorado. I can't use the Colorado one when I'm in Washington. That is illegal. You will get in trouble. Don't do it. So just keep that in mind, that be very mindful of the commission that you're using when you're in another state, because if you're juggling multiple, maybe you get confused, especially on a RON platform. So you want to make sure that you're only using the commission of the state that you're physically sitting in. But I will say that having 2 commissions is really convenient, right? Because no matter where I'm at, if I'm at, my place in Washington or my place here, I can always have the ability to notarize documents, which means I can always be bringing in business because I'm good to go in both locations. So it is very convenient and luckily not that much of a hurdle to get commissioned in both places. Of course, with convenience of having a dual commission comes some frustrations. I think the biggest thing is having to kind of get 2 of everything, right? Like I had to get 2 notary stamps. I had to get 2 electronic notarial seals. And I would say probably the biggest pain point is not being able to indicate on profiles that you are dual commissioned. Like for example, my NNA profile, NNA being the National Notary Association, right? when I hit them up saying I was commissioned in another state, they're like, okay, well, your NNA profile, current one, is set as Washington. So if you want to change it to Colorado, you either need to fully change the profile over or make an additional profile. It's like, okay, well, I can do that, but that's somewhat inconvenient. So you have to kind of deal with that quite a bit, I found, especially when it comes to remote online notary platforms. Like, if there's a number one thing that kind of sucks, it's the remote online notary platforms, because they're not set up for you to be able to toggle between the two states, right? One, they may not even be available in both states, but two, even if they were, you can't just switch it. So let's say you have a notarized account, right? And it's available in both of your states. You can't just be like, okay, well, when I log in today, since I'm in Washington, I'm gonna flip it to Washington. And when I'm in Colorado, I'm gonna log into that same profile and I'm gonna flip it to Colorado. One, a lot of platforms don't allow you to have more than one profile under student commissions. And two, they have no functionality for you to just be able to switch between which states you're commissioned in when you're using it. So oftentimes you have to pick which profile or which commission you want to go with which platform, right? So let's say you have 4 platforms you like. You may just have to be like, these 2 I'm gonna designate for Colorado, these 2 I'm gonna designate for Washington, or whatever state you're commissioned in. And so that can be somewhat frustrating, because you like these, you got the platforms for a reason, you got them because you like them. So it kind of sucks that you have to pick which one you're going to use for which state, especially maybe you're not sitting in that state a lot, and so you're kind of like wasting a platform by having it designated to a certain state. And even if a platform does allow you to have more than one profile, if that platform requires something like monthly fees, then you're paying 2 sets of monthly fees for 2 separate commissions. So honestly, that's probably the biggest thing, is like the RON platforms, just general profiles, just don't make it easy for you to list that you have multiple commissions. And it could be because a lot of people don't. I'm not sure, to be honest. But I would love for there to be better functionality. What I will say though, there are 2 profiles that I have that make it really easy to say that you have multiple commissions. That is SnapDocs. Makes it really easy for you to say that you have multiple commissions, that you're available in multiple commissions or multiple states. And then Signing Order. .com, which is like a signing service, they also make it very easy for you to list out that you have more than one commission and to upload both commissions to my profile. And so what I found is once I uploaded both commissions to the profile, I get text now from both states, because I don't know, right? So I'll get text for Colorado, I'll get text for Washington, and so it's nice because obviously if a Colorado comes through and I'm sitting in Colorado, I can take that, or in Washington, I can take that. So they just give me both now, which has been awesome. But I would absolutely say that the benefit of having 2 commissions definitely outweighs, some of the frustrations that come along with it. But anyway, that was really all I wanted to touch on, let you guys know, kind of tell you my experience about being dual commissioned. But I'm curious, are any of you guys dual commissioned? How has that been for you? What have your frustrations been like? Are you looking to get dual commissions? If so, why? Why haven't you already? I welcome any and all conversation. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.